Hello, welcome pen friends. Welcome to day 28 of 30 Inks 30 Days. This is the Ink Journal, or Ink Journal put out the challenge to use just one ink and one pen a day. And so this is me, this is my ink choice for today. It is Birmingham Philander C Knox Old Glory Blue. And it's hard to describe this blue, but I've come to think of it as one of the brighter and bluer blue blacks. I may be wrong on that, but we'll look at a lot of comparisons, and you may agree with me. It's we've seen several that sort of fall in that category, especially the Straits Pen Honest Ink, literally the only serious color, and also Colorverse Mariner 4 that bear some similarities. So we'll compare those later. But just 2 days left, Sunday and Monday, of this challenge, and then I'll be inking up a whole bunch more pens. So I miss my colors. So this notebook is the Bond Travel Gear notebook with 68 GSM Tomoe River paper in it. So this is where we'll start. I've got it in the broad nib here. Oh, but availability wise, the good news on this is that as of this morning when I was preparing this video, and this is September 28th, 2019, so you may be watching it in the future, and if you are, you need to check, but they still had 4 mil samples at birminghampens.com for $1.99, and they had the 30 mil bottle for $5.99, so very good pricing, and it's just a well-behaved, nice ink in my opinion. So in the broad nib, it was taking about 30 seconds to dry. When I backed up to 25, I was getting some smearing there. And then in the Goulet 1.5 stub, it was dry at 25. And let's see, I just did a little bit of writing. I was looking really hard at this ink to see if I think it's a shader. And certainly there was a little bit of variety here and there, but I wouldn't note it as a heavy shading ink or anything like that. But just a nice, nicely saturated, flowy ink. In the fine nib, Lamy fine nib, let's see, it was dry at 20, dry at 15, and it still smeared at 10. So it had kind of a little sweet spot somewhere right between 15 and 10. My first impressions, I really love this ink. In fact, this isn't my very first impression. I had, my pen friend Sharon had sent me a sample, and it was way up here somewhere, and I used a lot of this ink, kind of not really thinking ahead very well about reviewing it, and I liked it then and I like it now. So, and I've had it for quite a while. I like it best, the attributes I like the best are color, flow, availability, and price. Of course, that's right now, so I did date this so that we could make sure we understand that. I don't know what it's going to be like in the future. And the ink, after the water test, I found out it does have some water resistance. This is the chromatography. It did move quite fast, but there's a lot of saturation there. I mean, you can see that. It just kind of moves on up. And so let's look at the water test. The water test showed that it has a little bit of resistance. I mean, that's not quite as much as, say, the last time we got that. Well, it's close, though. J. Arbonne Lee Dete did stick around pretty good. And it changed from brown to gray. And this kind of changes from blue to a different kind of a blue. But for what that's worth, that's what it did after 20 seconds marinating in water. I mean, 20 minutes. What am I talking about? I do them all exactly the same. Okay, and then yesterday's ink, which was Birmingham Gerbera Pink, which was this ink from that we did yesterday that was more or less a maroonish color. It got an A on the pen cleaning out. It was very easy. I bet you this will be easy too, but I'll let you know tomorrow how that went. Okay, just a glimpse before we go on to the Rhodia paper. This is the ink on 52 GSM Tomoe River paper, just for fun. And I found red sheen on here, but that's a bunch of ink splattering with an ink syringe, so I wasn't really seeing that in the nibs, or if I was, my eyes just weren't detecting it. I went back over and tried to see if I would see the sheen, but I don't. But anyway, this is what it looked like when it got spattered, and it didn't actually bleed through. There was a little bit of seepage, but not much. So let's move this aside and look at our Rhodia sample. Okay, on Rhodia 80 GSM, dot pad paper that's been cut up. This was a large pad that I cut. Here it is in the broad nib. Looks like it was taking 30 seconds to dry on this. The camera's making this ink look just a shade and a half darker than it looks to my eye, but it's quite close actually. It's not doing its usual, I mean, this blue happens to be a good, I think it's a good ink to photograph. We'll see when I get around to my Instagram photos, but in the 1.5 stub it was dry at 20 seconds. Let's see, let me hold that up higher. We see just a little bit of variation, but I guess I wouldn't give it much for shading. That doesn't matter though. It looks nice on the page. In the fine nib, it was smearing at 12, a little smear at 15, and by 20 it was finally completely dry. And I put down very good on Rhodia and all 3 nibs. Yes, I wasn't having any of my usual fuss about going into the fine nib. And fine nibs are not my thing, but it's really nice when I can see my writing when I am using one. And that ink filled that part of my wishes very well. This is CVS caliber paper it's an inexpensive notebook, and it's a 5x7 size. Here it is. In the broad nib, it was dry at 30 seconds. And then, well, okay, I probably should have come back in and done another test, because down in the stub, which tends to be pretty close to the broad nib, it was almost dry at 20 seconds. There's just the slightest little tiny bit of smear. You can't even see it with the camera. Okay, the ink seems to, it seems to lighten just a little, but yet it's more on line with what it does in the Tomoe River notebook. So it looked nice. And in the fine nib, it did just fine. It lightened a little for me, but the flow was okay, and it was right on the edge of me saying, so it was just fine. I could write in this notebook with the fine nib without any problems. 20 seconds to dry in that nib too. Well, fully dry, because it was barely smearing at 15. So let's look at the back, and just an ordinary amount of shadowing, and very little was present. Okay, and then as far as our Rhodia paper, as usual, nothing to write home about, no problems. Okay, in the Tomoe River paper, we've got to look back on yesterday's page again. But it does the ordinary ghosting, just a little bit. Nothing to worry about. Okay. Got to keep that handy. Okay, let's look at our comparisons. That'll help us, I think, to kind of place where this ink goes. Whew. All right. I have quite a few in this ballpark, I guess you could call it. But right in the middle is our ink of the day, Birmingham Philander C Knox Old Glory Blue. And since I don't have the sample right from them, I don't know what they shorten it to, but when I looked it up on their website, just typing in Old Glory Blue got it for me. So I'll link you to their page where they have this ink. Okay, so I've got a bottle of Fountain Pen Revolution Blue Black, and they compare quite well. I just think this might be just a little darker, because I've written with this one so much in a nib. Granted, it was a medium nib, but even if you compared the medium nib with the broad nib that I'm doing with this one, I think Fountain Pen Revolution is a little darker. But they're both very affordable blue blacks with that quality where they stick around a little bit when it gets wet. So that's a good comparison. Some of these I don't have as much experience with. Like Nemesine Pallades Blue Black, I haven't tried it out enough to tell you very much about it yet. Okay, and then let's see, Diatramenis Night Blue Sherlock Holmes up above there. That seems to have a brighter blueness to it, or maybe we should say lighter, because it's just different in some way. And then Caran d'Ache Magnetic Blue. I need to explore that one more in a nib. It shows up on all these, lineups, but I haven't really explored it in a nib yet. Noodler's 54th Mass, I thought, it draws a pretty good comparison to that ink, actually, except this is very, very permanent. You see how it didn't even really fuzz the color out on this paper. So you could tell how permanent that is. I mean, that's not a mistake. It's not like I forgot to put the water. I put a little P with a circle. That's supposed to tell me it's permanent. Robert Oster Gray Seas. This is one I just really love. It's got a lot of complexity. It's brighter. It's not going to really compare edge to edge with this one. Now, I almost moved these all around again, but I didn't. But down here, Kyoto Tag, and I don't remember how to say that. These little pronunciation guides are probably here somewhere, but it just looks to me like that really looks a lot like it. And I have done a review of this ink, so I'd have to look back on that myself. And then really Noodler's Blue Black, or Black Blue. They say it like that. I don't know why, because to me there's more blue in that Black Blue. Okay, I'm tongue-tied. Let's go to the other little ones I pulled out. I got the 3 blues that we've already done during this 30 inks 30 days that came the closest to this. That does not really mean they compare well, but I thought we'd look at them anyway because we've just talked about them. So the Mariner 4 on day 17, that's just darker. It's coming across more purple to the camera than it is to the eye, but that is something that sort of, you can see it a little, like in here, your eye picks up a little lilac type color. Ooh, thunder is happening outside. Okay, and then this is the Straits Pen Honest Ink, literally the only serious color in the lineup. I was giving you the wrong name at first. That was day 11. And you can tell that there's quite a distance between the two. To me, this would be a blue-black with more of the darkness, whether it's black or whether it's just plain darker, I don't know. So there we go. And then the other one I didn't think really compared well, but I still thought we should look at it. Straits Pen Honest Ink Sad Stormy Swedish Sea has a different kind of flavor to it. That was day 10. It's awfully pretty, and I think people commented that it might pass in an office setting, but that's something that I can't really evaluate. I don't know for sure. Okay, here's a pretty serious blue-black, Tasha A. Girl. That's a pretty one. It's darker, though. I mean, you can see it's darker than quite a few of these. So there's that. Oh my, I've got a lot of these. Huh, Aurora Blue-Black. Surprised that didn't go on the panel. That seems to have that same property of not moving around as much as some of these. So I'd have to explore this a little more again. I did a review of it, but it was a long time ago. Probably need to do another one. It's been that long, I think. Pilot Iroshizuku Shinkai. That's a beautiful ink. And that's got some brightness and compares really well with some of these other well-known ones. Let's see. Especially like Caran d'Ache and... I don't know why I said well-known, but... Anyway... There it is for your comparison, in case you're familiar with it. I know some people, this is their ink brand, so we need to include the Pilot whenever I can. Okay, Pelikan Edelstein Tanzanite. There's another one. Oops. Got something going on there. Doesn't quite look the same, does it? It shows you, at first glance, this just looks so much brighter. But in the nib, I thought it looked really well. It did pass as a blue-black to me. I'm just wondering if I'm correct on that. I'm not sure. Kaveco Midnight Blue. That does definitely have the purple. And that kind of reminds me of that other one that we were having a... Was it Mariner? Yeah, it does those same tricks to you, but not quite as much. And I like Kaveco inks. They're very nice. Midnight Blue. I ended up getting some cartridges of this. I really liked it. Okay, so that is the comparisons. I hope this helped you a little bit to kind of place where this ink falls, especially since it's actually available, which is awesome. Okay, so as far as what I thought of it, this is the Pen Thing ink swatch plot log that was sent free by my pen friend Brian, who's also selling these. And I'm using it all month. to check it out, kind of try it out and learn about this type of rating system. It's not that it's totally new to me, but it is a little bit out of my wheelhouse. My remarks that were nice color, flow, price, and behavior. Yeah, I like this ink. Saturation was good. I put 8. Flow was great. I put 8. Shading, I marked it down even though I could see it was present. I mean, it's there, but it's not maybe an average shader. It's a little below average. You don't see very much of it. In the nibs I was using anyway. I didn't see bleeding or feathering. I wasn't using bad paper. Dry time was pretty average. In fact, if I had to, maybe I would, maybe I would say that dry time was a little better than average. It wasn't too bad. But it's like, which way do I make the X go? Is a long dry time going to be a high number or a low number? Don't ask me. That's what I think I'm too literal. Okay, sheen, halo, shimmer. I didn't see any of that except for I did see sheen on Tomoy River 52 GSM. Just that nice little red sheen that came out. Whoops, and it's very hard to capture. Yeah, it's gotten dark and I'm hearing thunder and seeing a little lightning. And I put note, overall I gave it an 8 because color, flow, price, behavior, all that kind of thing. The fact that it's available right now probably bumped it up even, because that's nice. And I put a note to self, remember Fountain Pen Revolution Blue Black. I have to use that up. I can't go ordering another bottle of a blue black in that same category. So that's just my note to myself. So let's try this on the Nick Stewart technique. Been having a lot of fun with that. And I even got out another color we can try with it if it seems like we want to. Okay, so I'm going to bring over my water. Okay. Starting a brand new page, but let's flip back to yesterday. I do like to show once they dry. I actually liked it better once it was dry. From yesterday, Birmingham Gerbera Pink with Netherlands Erst as the complementary color. And I actually liked what this did. Not that it has any sense of reality in the colors, but I liked it. Yeah, it's not very often they dry better than they looked at first, so that's cool. Okay, so today's ink is here. Your pile of brushes, little brush, pen, first starter brush, and okay, here we go. Let's see what we can do. I wonder what this will do. I'm not sure. Okay, making sure there's plenty of water. Is this the right one? Yeah. Phew, I don't have very much ink left. Oh, I like that. Oh, that's pretty. Okay. Ooh. I really like it whenever there's going to be a little ball with detail like that. Let's try a line just to see what we get. Ooh, it almost looks like a C. Oh, that's just really delightful. Huh. I did want to, this is Noodler's Golden Brown. It's not one that we're reviewing, but it was up there to be filed. It was on my hideousness that is a desk. I just thought maybe, it's a pretty ink, and I actually wanted to see it. I know it doesn't have that highlighter yellow too much, like one of the others in that category we just looked at. I thought, well, it could possibly do something to enhance our picture. Not really sure. Okay, let's see. Okay, I'm getting too fussy. That's what I always do. Let's see. Oh, I like that because I don't know, it gives it like a storm hint or something. And I even thought maybe just to see. Oh, I don't know if you guys can even hear that, but it's really thundering. Huh, neat. Ooh, I can see green coming out. That's what I'd hoped for, because a little bit of green wouldn't hurt on the ground there. Okay, noodlers. I think I need more water for the bottom part. Oh. Okay, we'll just add in a little bit down here and see what happens. Oh, I like that. That's spectacular what that did. And that's going to be green. I guess we're going to have green water. What will happen if I come back in with this blue? Oh, well, yeah, let's try the Lamy Fine Nib. I don't want to like overwhelm it all. See that? Because that color's gonna, it's probably gonna dominate quite easily. Huh. Neat, neat, neat. Okay, well, we lost our trees pretty much, but still a lot of neat color things happening there. I'm gonna have to make sure I note what I was using, because it won't make any sense to me later. I won't remember that Noodler's Golden Brown was out, but okay, I think I'll just let that dry. And it seems like there's quite a bit going on here. Let's see. Yeah, that's funny. Actually, that looks halfway realistic, because some of the palms around here have just gigantic wood type things coming out of them. Okay, I said I was going to leave it alone. I just can't seem to. That's pretty. Not bad. We'll look at it tomorrow, see what it did. And speaking of tomorrow, let's just take a quick look at, there's two things I want to tell you. The first is what our color is for tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be J. Arbonne Encre Classic Turquoise. So we're brightening things up quite a bit. And then our very final day will be an orange. It'll be Robert Oster Fire on Fire. I think this is the Pen Addict exclusive one. So I'm going to do a little research. But anyway, that's for Monday. So for Sunday, which is tomorrow, September 29th, 2019, is J. Arbonne Encre Classic Turquoise. And if you're watching this, okay, so I have another video for you that's just a Sunday fun video that I uploaded for tomorrow, which will be September 29th, 2019. That's just a neat little sewing project that I got inspired to try, and I worked on it and I did it. And so I just thought it would be kind of fun to show you. It's pen related. So I will see you back here though tomorrow with J. Arbonne Encre Classic Turquoise, which I think is going to be a hit. I like it. Okay. So what did you think of today's? I'll just present that question. And how are you holding up? If you're doing 30 inks, 30 days, I'm already having like, last night I was dreaming about going to like this little pen place, and I was thinking about which pens I was going to ink up, and I was, oh wow, I was thinking I need to make a list. And this was in the dream, like I'm gonna ink this and this and this and this. And then I started thinking, wait a minute, I got these pens I want to review, so I should probably really think it through. Anyway, I'm holding up fine, except that I'm missing having several colors inked up at once and being able to choose, you know, okay, I'm writing to Mom, so I want this color. I'm going to write this little note, or these, you know, it's just different to be self-restricted to one color for the day, because I like color, so I want all the colors. Okay, I know I'm not alone in that. Okay, I'll talk to you later. Bye for now.